Whether you're a business owner or a W-2 employee, you likely have access, if you have the right insurance, to what's called a health savings account, an HSA. In this video, what we want to take a look at is how we can utilize this account in a couple different ways. There's a standard method and there's really an advanced method, and they offer different ways of using the account. What we want to do is understand them so you can pick which way makes the most sense for you. Let's get right into it. Thanks for coming to Taxes Suck Again. My name is Matt Speckman. I am a CPA. I own Advantage Through Accounting. We do tax preparation and tax planning for folks who need it. In this video, we're taking a look at the HSA and how you can use this account. There's a couple main ways that we're going to illustrate here, a standard way and an advanced way, and we're just going to show the flow of the money through these two accounts, how they get utilized, and ultimately what you need to do to justify using it in the advanced way. So what's the standard way you might use an HSA? Well, on your in your monthly or your weekly paycheck, your paycheck, whenever you receive that thing, you're going to get that. You're going to have money coming into your account. Your cash is going to go into the checking, but we just want to look at the HSA flow. In this case, the money, your contribution, let's give a little contribution there, goes into the HSA. So all well and good there. That's how it works, right? You put money into the account, you're going to get the benefit. What is the benefit of putting money into this account? You get a tax benefit. So if you put $1,000 into your HSA, that lowers your taxable income by $1,000. You might save around, let's call it $250, something like that. And you can imagine how that, you can see how that would escalate as you contribute more. Point being, that goes into the account, and now what you get to do with that money, you spend it on healthcare expenses. So that money gets spent directly from the HSA. It goes out here. You got that tax benefit. If you did not contribute to the HSA, you wouldn't get the tax benefit, so you would have less cash flow total. You'd be paying more out of pocket. In this case, the HSA gives you that benefit. Any money paid for the healthcare expenses does not have any penalty associated with it. It's basically money you just get to use for those healthcare expenses. That is basically the simple method. In this case, you had the money that went into your checking account from your paycheck, you deferred some into the HSA, you use that HSA to pay healthcare expenses. Now, let's take a look at our blue. Our more advanced way of using this account, we're going to start off in the exact same spot, contribution. Same thing. You got to make that contribution in the HSA in the first place. Your paycheck money is going to go in here, and what you defer to your HSA goes directly into your HSA account. Now, here's the big difference. What you have is the opportunity to use this HSA as a retirement vehicle that has many tax benefits. Because with the HSA, you not only get this benefit when you put the money in, you get a little tax benefit, but then that money grows tax-free as long as you use it for healthcare expenses. That is the kicker there. So it's only tax-free, penalty-free if you end up using the money that goes into this account for healthcare expenses. So where does the advanced element come in? Well, the basis of it is that you are not going to do this right here. What you're going to do is effectively hold the money in the HSA account. How are you going to pay the healthcare expenses when they come about? You're going to pay out of your checking account. Boom, right there. So you're going to pay that. You're not getting, you're not using that HSA, that tax benefited money for it. You're paying directly out of your checking account, out of your own wallet, right? What opportunity is this presenting for you? Well, we talked about how this can grow tax-free when invested. What we're going to do is leverage that over time. How do we do that? Because we're still paying these healthcare expenses, just because you hold that amount in there does not mean you get to use it for anything unless you do one very particular thing. That is using this money here to pay for your healthcare expenses, and then what you do from there is you log those in detail. Log in detail. You must track the money you're spending out of your checking for the amounts going to healthcare costs, because what that's going to give you the ability to do is withdraw money from your HSA down the line, penalty and tax-free. Meaning we have to have this log to justify that we have this accumulated amount of medical expenses we paid for over the years. This could happen over many, many years. You just need to be justifying that you're paying for these out of your own pocket, and therefore when it comes time to withdraw from this HSA, that comes out. It's technically backlogged for these medical expenses. That's important, right? This log here that you're paying for your own, or paying out of your own pocket, these healthcare expenses, are still covered by that HSA, And what we're doing is allowing the time element to work. We're gonna leave that money in that HSA, let it grow tax-free, get that tax benefit, and then we're gonna take it out down the line, and we're gonna justify doing so because we have this log of expenses that we can say, absolutely, I owe myself $10,000 from that HSA, and I have more money in my HSA because I let it sit there and grow through investments. Tax-free, penalty-free. That is the main benefit you can get. If you choose to use this account in the advanced way, this is the most powerful way, one of the most powerful ways to use it, is to allow the nature of that account to work in totality, get both ends of the tax benefit, and you're going to see more money to your name at the end of the day. That's going to increase your net worth because you're paying less in taxes and penalties through this process. Make sure you understand how those two elements work. I use it in both ways. So there's no right or wrong answer. Sometimes the ease of just using your HSA, not seeing it come out of your checking makes a lot of sense. But if you are someone who likes to maximize their total dollars, their total net worth, their total retirement profile, this can be a really powerful strategy in blue. Make sure you evaluate what that means for you. See if that's something that makes sense for your trajectory and where you're heading.